Hello and welcome back to another Bad Movie Reviews review hosted by your favourite film reviewer from Down Under, Ben, and I am dropping this review of a film named Drop. Not to get confused with the 2014 film with Tom Hardy, it is definitely the 2025 film that is directed by Christopher Landon, who most people would know did like Happy Death Day, Happy to Death Day, one of the Paranormal Activities, I think the one with the cult marked ones, I believe his name was, as well as Freaky, starring Megan Fahey, who most people probably know from White Lotus, and you've also got Brandon Sklenar, who most recently is the love interest in It Ends With Us, or one of, sorry, and stars in 1823, I think it is, 1923, sorry, which is the Tyler Sheridan spin-off of Yellowstone, and he's fantastic in that. But to touch on the plot, I'd recommend seeing this knowing as little as possible. If you've seen the trailer, you know it's a film that's really twisty and, really plot unfolding, twist turns. It is about a widowed mother who goes on her first date in years and then twists and, the plot unfolds from there. Now, I really got to give it to Christopher Landon. This film is far better than what I was expecting, to be fully honest. Not only just the plot, but the overall use of filmmaking and editing. It's really, really sleek, especially in the backdrop here, you see it's a really nice shot, but the text messages actually come up and they're really intuitive in the way it edits into the actual shot. And just for an example, mind you, but overall the film is shot in one location, which is the dinner location, and it looks phenomenal. The actual shots and the film itself, it looks beautiful, and it's obviously 90% in that location, so they've obviously got the benefit of setting that up the way they like without having to chop and change, I guess, but in terms of traveling locations. But it looks beautiful, and the camera work and the editing is really kind of top notch, and it ropes you in. And I think the film's about an hour and 40 minutes long, which is, to me, is perfect length. But I think more of these films should exist that are just that really, really tight thriller, really nice runtime where it doesn't overextend. I think the weakness for me was probably more not the script, but the actual, just the amount of potential witnesses and the way they kind of drew you in, the potential, wanting to get you to think, who could it be, what could happen, what could be happening, kind of thing. And there was probably a lack of that. Now, the only thing is, obviously, if you bring more of that in, potentially the runtime obviously increases, and then it has potential to draw you out, or pull you out of that experience. So, we'll take what we can get in this situation, but I thought the way all the side characters intertwined with the story was really, really neat. There's obviously your comedic factors, there's the people who want to know what's going on, and your waiter, who's really comedic. I think his name is Matt in the film. I think Megan Fahey really, apologies if I've pronounced it incorrectly, Megan Fahey, most people would know from White Lotus. She's really fantastic, and she really anchors the film and takes you along on this ride. And I think Brandon Sklenar, who most people know from It Ends With Us, as I said, is really, really, really good in this film. Almost a bit too good in terms of his character, not only his character, but his performance. It really draws you in. But I think everyone here is really giving a great performance for a film that realistically, these kind of films, you probably don't need it, to be honest. But I was really, really not expecting too much, and I really, really got a really enjoyable experience from this. I thought the camera work, as I said, the editing, the cinematography of the whole film, and how it looked, as well as the performances, and I think the story was really, really dragged you in. I just felt like, as I said, it potentially could have been more to bring more out of that, more witnesses and more unfold in that situation. But I thought overall, but in terms of what I got from the film, I can't really complain too much. They're a little bit nitpicks, but from what I was expecting, it's a film coming out in April, which, school holidays here, it's not really, we've got Minecraft, which just opened up, which will make a lot of money, but it's kind of an odd time for films to come out. They're usually, leading into US holiday season, which is like your May, Junes. You usually get all these films, so sometimes April can be a bit of a dumping ground, but I really had a good time with this. I really did. I'm not sure when it comes out overseas. I know it comes out in like a week and a half here in Australia, so I was lucky enough to go and see this one early. There was a few screenings on. But look, if you have seen it, I'd love to know what you think. I really did enjoy this, probably a lot more than I was expecting. So if you have seen it, comment below, let us know what you think. If you like the review, give it a thumbs up, subscribe for more of them, and we'll see you next time.